is actually just any cutlery that we have itself. So this is much more of a common situation when it came to the days in Eastern Europe, or just minus a generation or two to our parents and grandparents, came to America, and they had 6 forks. That was what they had, right? They had 1 kiddush cup, right? So what do you do for Pesach? So you kasher your kitchen for Pesach, meaning you make everything you have regularly now ready for Pesach. That's not the situation that we're dealing with generally today, and that's a general rule that we should be appreciative of, which is, thank God we live in a society where we have a little more money to be able to do these things. Let's just buy another set of things. It's better to have an extra set if we have the money to be able to do so. It's better than that, to have that than to do kashering. But let's say one wants to be doing the kashering, right? Or there's something special, or one does not have enough. Then how does one kasher? This is a more typical thing, which is why in regular neighborhoods, when you're dealing with in Lower East Side in New York, on the corners of streets that have these large pots to do agala, and people would bring their entire flatware set, put it in there, and bring it home, and that's how it works. And this wasn't so long ago as well. Now, if we want to do this at home, this is especially true, I think, like kiddush cups, because somebody has a very special kiddush cup and they want to use it. So in that case, that is fine. What does one do? One wants to take a pot of water, which has not been used for 24 hours, is clean. Okay, so that is fine. A lot of people like to use Pesach. It isn't technically only Pesach, but it's a very large pot which is filled with water and is brought to a boil. This pot is not on a rolling boil yet. You can see it's getting there. There's starting to small bubbles. Let's imagine for a second it is in the rolling boil. Then what I would need to do is I would need to take my cutlery, put it into it while it's on that boil. You can see it's starting to come now. Now, just a few reminders about this. Number one is, be careful. Number two is that it cannot be that the items are touching each other. So just dropping things in is not good. Right? That doesn't work. They're lying on top of each other. What sometimes people will do is I'll take let's say an onion sack or a net, like a sock net, and put a few things in it and lower it in and shake it around a little bit. That's fine, and then pull it out. That'll be sufficient. Another thing one can do is I can use tongs as well, so I can put it in over here, and now I did already like what I'm supposed to do and take it out, and that's sufficient. What most people don't know is the next thing you're supposed to do is put it under cold water. That's most people don't realize. The end of the Haggadah process is actually putting it under cold water right away afterwards to finish the Haggadah. As you can see, it's getting to its boil. It is worthwhile realizing that you can kasher metal, but when it comes to glass, Ashkenazim don't kasher glass. So glass is not going to work. When it comes to plastic in general, that depends on that. You paskins the shas hatzorach at times of need plastic kasher. Another thing which is also worthwhile realizing is that complex multi-part items are more complicated to kasher. So let's say I have a kiddush cup which has a stem, as an example, which is made separately to the kiddush cup itself and is attached. There's usually a little seam in the middle there and it gets dirty in there. Not all places can say it's so easy to kasher. The one which is just a becher, which is a one piece, that's fine. One has to be careful about the types of things. More complex, intricate designs are more complicated when it comes to a kasher as well. Also, when kashering, let's say I put something in. Let's say especially if I take something big and I put it in. What happens is by putting it in, automatically it loses its boil a little bit, right? It loses the amount of the boil. My next item needs to wait until it comes back to its rolling boil in order to be able to kasher it properly. So I need the rolling boil for each item that I'm doing. Let's say I'm dealing with a larger item. So let's say I'm dealing with something which is a little bit larger, right? So this item is not going to fit into my pot, as an example. It is alright, unlike tevilas kelim, when I'm going to the mikveh and I do my kelim, tevilah needs to be the entire kli is submerged at the same time. When it comes to haggadas kelim, kashering, it does not need to. So I can do this side of it, and then I can switch it around and do this side of it, making sure the entire thing was done. Then afterwards, I'll take it and I'll just put it under the cold water, and I'm fine as well. But that being the case, it does not need to be in one shot if it's too long or too big. People often ask, what about the kashering big pots itself? So let's say, sometimes this is not so much a Pesach question, it's more of like a year-round question. I messed up my pot, I messed up my pan. So what one would do in those situations would be to fill the pot to the very top, bring it to a rolling boil. At the same time, on another burner, put a stone which I bring to high heat. Take that stone, drop it into the pot, it brings it to a higher boil, and overflows, and the pot therefore would be kasher through that process as well. Some people like to do that for the pot used for kashering itself before they do it. Not everybody agrees that's necessary, but that would be the way to go about this. We good? Yes, what's up?
When you're putting in the cutlery,
Yes.
I thought it has to go free falling into the pot.
It has to be as not touching. It shouldn't be that. Let's say the tongs itself are stopping the water accessing any part of it. So if I'm going to use tongs, then I would need to put it in and maybe reposition it or drop it and pick it up again.
Drop it in.
So it shouldn't be that there's one area which is being protected from water at any point in time.
And you can add more items in as long as they're not
Absolutely,
touching.
yes, exactly.
As long as they're not touching.
Exactly, but also just remembering that every item you add in is lowering the water temperature. So now we're getting to a rolling boil now. Everything I add in is dropping the water temperature. So I would need to make sure that's coming back before the next item goes in. And it only needs to be in momentarily. Yes.
Can I put multiple items in, put the water in, bring it to a boil, and then take them out one at a time?
It should be then put in when the rolling boil. So meaning I need to start off with the rolling boil, then the items in, and then,
Okay.
and then take them
It
out.
has to be the boil first.
Yes, exactly. And I think the simplest way is just the net. Like I put 3-4 in, shake them around a little bit because then they're getting full access. Wash them, then I keep going as well. Again, it's not so common today because we have 2 sets of flatware. You can go to Amazing Savings and get flatware sometimes even cheaper than you can get plastic sometimes. These days we lived in such a blessed age, but there are special things that we like to try to transfer over as well. Good? Yes, what's it?
The type of cutlery that you can
Yes.
kasher. So I'm
Yes.
wondering about the ladle that you just took.
Yes, good question.
That would not be acceptable to kasher.
So some people will say because it's made of 2 parts and there's seams, it's more complicated. Some people would hesitate because there is a little bit of a gap there and it's not so easy to kasher. Some people say it's only single piece items as well. I've not seen that all the national kashrut agencies make that. I think we're going through many of the Svarim. I've seen that today. So I would if you're going for Pesach and you want to be more careful, I would say be careful. Just single items, no seams, no two items as well. Silicon is called kasher, but just be careful with this as well. Okay.